Hey everyone, how's it going? Aaron Rift here from NoDQ.com. I am being joined by the NoDQ panel, complete with the brand new NoDQ.com t-shirts, which you could check out at ProWrestlingTees.com. Now, I'd love to talk about the shirts all night, but unfortunately, we have to discuss the WWE Backlash pay-per-view. Now, I would like to apologize in advance if I sound overly angry or frustrated, because I thought SmackDown was very lackluster this week. I am not looking forward to this pay-per-view at all. I feel like the only reason I am watching this pay-per-view on Sunday is because it's my job, and you guys are watching it because I'm telling you to watch it. But anyways, let's discuss this show. I'll get your guys' opinions on the pay-per-view. Backlash is in Chicago. We did our predictions for NXT TakeOver Chicago, which I'm almost certain will be a better show than Backlash. I'll get your guys' thoughts. So, David, we'll start on you since you were not part of our predictions video. What are your thoughts on this weekend, both Chicago's NXT event as well as Backlash?
I'm looking forward to the NXT event. I mean, there's been some rumors swirling that a couple guys, if not at least one, could get moved up to the main roster. I know Aleister Black's name was thrown out there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that more so. Obviously, it goes without saying, the only really match I'm looking forward to this one is KO and AJ, right? I mean, other than that, I mean, you got a whole bag full of nothing, really. So, I mean, I hope it exceeds my expectations, but just like when I went into this event on Saturday that I got chopped in and thrown over the top rope, I'm going to go in this with low expectations and hope that maybe it'll exceed it, right? What do you think, Virtue?
You forgot about another match, Nakamura and Ziggler. I actually I've been entertained by this a little bit, and I thought what Ziggler did tonight with the blank footage of Nakamura on the main roster, like, that makes me interested. I think it's predictable, which we'll talk about, but yeah, you're right. KO, AJ, and then that match, that's really all I want to see. I hope there's a swerve. I hope something happens that might make up for this pay-per-view.
What do you think, Kyle?
I agree with you, Aaron. I mean, this pay-per-view I'm not looking forward to at all. I'm just really looking forward to the KO and AJ match. I think that's just going to be phenomenal, to take a word from AJ's playbook. And I'm also looking forward to Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler. I think that'll be really interesting to see how Nakamura's first match on the main roster will go, and he's obviously going to be really over in Chicago, so I'm really looking forward to seeing the Chicago crowd sing his entrance and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm actually quite interested in the Breezango and Usos match. Surprisingly, I'm actually a little bit intrigued by it. I mean, I'm kind of entertained with the Fashion Files gimmick they've been doing. I'm not sure if they'll win the titles right away, but it'll be interesting to see if they actually win. Well, I can see them kind of a bit of an upset, kind of like when Rhino and Heath Slater won, because they were hot at when they were doing that little thing. But I'm
novelty act, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that more in a few minutes. I thought the Usos, that was probably the only thing I liked on SmackDown this week. But again, we'll talk about that when we get to the. I think Virtue disagrees with me, but we'll talk about it in a few minutes. Let's start off with the kickoff match, which is Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10, versus Aiden English. It's just a filler match. It's just taking up time. I'm sure the Chicago crowd will be thrilled to do the 10 chant, and that'll be the whole deal there. The crowd does their chant, and Ty will pick up the win, and Aiden will sing at the beginning. It'll just be basically a repeat of what they did on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. Literally nothing more than time filler. So real quick predictions. We'll start with you, Virtue.
Ty Dillinger in 10 seconds.
That would be funny. I would actually find that hilarious if they could somehow pull that off.
They probably would have to throw something else on the pre-show, which they can, because there's like Rowan and Harper and guys like that. But
right,
Ty Dillinger is my prediction. David?
Yeah, Ty Dillinger, I don't know about 10 seconds. That would be pretty awesome, though. But, yeah, he's definitely going to win here. And, Aiden English can thank his old buddy Simon Gotch for putting him in the dumpster of the company. So that's all I got to say about that. What do you think, Kyle?
I think Ty Dillinger is going to win. I think the 10-second prediction is actually pretty cool. I would have never thought of that, but I'd love to see that. So what do you think, Aaron?
I think I'm going to have to go with Ty Dillinger, and I think Virtue should be on the WWE creative team because I think he's got better ideas than what they're coming up with on their shows. So
it's not hard.
Yeah, it's really not rocket science. That's what frustrates me the most. You know, I don't want to rant on SmackDown too much, but we'll talk about it as we get through these predictions. Let's move on here and talk about the main card. First up, we have Sami Zayn one-on-one with Baron Corbin. And as we saw on SmackDown, Zayn was doing his backstage interview to hype up the match. He was attacked by Corbin. Corbin went out there and proceeded to lose cleanly to Randy Orton. Now, I think that makes it painfully obvious what the result is here. I think we're going to see Baron Corbin pick up a win over Sami Zayn, and Zayn will put up a great fight. It'll be the typical underdog story, but I would be shocked if Corbin loses after losing so decisively to Orton on SmackDown. Kyle, what do you think?
I think so too, because I think Baron Corbin is going to be the guy that actually wins Money in the Bank at the following SmackDown pay-per-view. So if he loses now, he already lost at WrestleMania to Dean Ambrose, so he's got to get some momentum back if he wants to get back into the upper mid-card main event scene of SmackDown. So I got to go with Baron Corbin. What about you, Dave?
Well, I mean, you know, Jeff Meacham, our fellow semi-retired colleague, he's in love with Baron Corbin, but he's not really over it in my eyes. I don't know. This main event on SmackDown, I called it Randy Orton versus Boring Corbin. It was pretty, you know, I don't know. And that's the thing, is like going into it, it's on paper. It's like, okay, yeah, Corbin's going to win. But they seem like they dropped the ball with his momentum before. So just for the sake of being different, I'm going to pull a swerve here, and I say Corbin loses, and Zayn maybe gets a fresh start on SmackDown, because hasn't he already been relegated to the Jobber to the Stars? It seems like. Yeah. He puts good matches on too. So yeah, I'll say Zayn, even though I'm not 100% sold in my mind. What do you think, Virtue?
Wins and losses really don't matter these days. Look at Jinder Mahal. So that, you know, picking Zayn, it won't affect Corbin if he loses. But just because David Payne picked Zayn, I'm going Corbin. I'm going Corbin.
All right. Oh. Well, it could be a DQ. You never know. And like David said, there was very little crowd heat for that match. So, yeah, I'm not really all that excited right now about Corbin versus Zayn. As much as I love Sami Zayn, I think the match will be good. I could see there being a DQ, though. But I'm going to stick with my prediction. Baron Corbin wins. So, Mr. Payne is our one disagreement so far with the predictions. I'm usually terrible with them, but we'll see what happens. We'll see who wins this month. Next up, we have Shinsuke Nakamura making his main roster pay-per-view debut, and apparently he has no history. You know, they cannot show NXT footage. That does not exist. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. I thought the segment on SmackDown was okay with Ziggler showing his footage and ignoring the NXT footage. And Virtue, I know you liked it, so we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the match, your expectations, and who do you think's winning? I think we're all going to go with the same person here, but what do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be a great match. Ziggler is going to sell like he always does. Nakamura is going to do a strong style. We're going to be able to finally see Nakamura footage in WWE that supposedly doesn't exist. I'm hoping they give him 15 minutes. I could see this actually open the show, but again, we'll see. Yeah. I am going to go, and I think it's going to be some heelish move or cheating. Ziggler is going to beat Nakamura, and they're going to continue the program. So I'm going to go with Ziggler. I don't know how. It's going to be something shady so it can continue the storyline, but I think I like Ziggler where he's at right now, and a cheap win over Nakamura would give him even more heel heat on the following SmackDown. What do you think, Payne?
Well, you know, that's actually pretty well thought out. But one would assume that if, you know, he's not had a match, Nakamura, yet on SmackDown, do they really want his first match in Chicago to be a loss? I could see shenanigans, but that wouldn't really make the fans too happy. I like Dolph Ziggler. I've always been a fan of his. I think he's a damn good veteran. He's almost kind of like that Mr. Perfect role when you think about it. And, yeah, he'll sell like crazy. I think this will be a good match. Don't be surprised if Nakamura gives him a couple bruises, you know, with whatever he does, that strong style. And, yeah, I think it'll be a great match. I hope it does open the show, 15, 20-minute match. I'm going to go with Nakamura. I mean, I like your logic, and then there's definitely going to be the rematch and the rubber match. But I'm going to go with Shinsuke to win this one. What do you think, Kyle?
I'm going to have to agree with you, Payne. I think Nakamura is going to win this match. I mean, I don't see a reason for Dolph Ziggler to win unless, like what Virtue said, if it's going to continue the feud. And also, you gotta. It seems like every NXT superstar's first feud when they get called up is with Dolph Ziggler for some reason. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
Like they always seem to place Dolph Ziggler with the NXT.
He's one of the best workers. He's one of the best workers. You know.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. So. But with that said, I don't see Nakamura losing his big debut match, especially in Chicago. I mean, you could just I can understand the heel heat if they want to get the heel heat behind Ziggler, but I honestly think Ziggler is past that point of where he's going to be like featured in the main event scene or anything like that, or he's just going to be upper mid card purgatory for the rest of his career. So I just see Nakamura winning like just normally. So what do you think, Aaron?
I think Nakamura is going to win cleanly. I think that there's almost no chance Dolph Ziggler wins. If Ziggler wins, I'm just giving up with doing predictions. I'm done. So yeah, I think it's a clear-cut win for Nakamura. Next up, we have the 6-woman tag team match. There was a contract signing on SmackDown. Seems like every pay-per-view, there's got to be a contract signing segment.
Everyone.
You guys know how I feel about the contract signing segments. I just love them. We have Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch against the Welcoming Committee. I don't know what you guys think, but that is like the worst name for a faction of all time. Could they seriously not come up with anything better? I mean, come on.
That was the most facetious tone I've ever heard. The Welcoming Committee.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's
I agree with you,
best they could
lame.
come up with. I mean, I liked what was the name for Becky and Paige and Charlotte. What was their name? PCB. And I think they had some other name before that they had to change because it was actually...
Submission Sorority.
Oh, the Sorority Sisters or something.
Or Sorority Submission, yeah, something like that.
Sorority Submission. Yeah, I thought that was a cool name, but of course that's a little too raunchy, so they had to change it. But yeah, this name is terrible, and I'm ranting about the name, which shows you how I feel about the match. I really do not care about the match. Not sure what they're doing here with Charlotte Flair, if she's going to be a heel, if she's going to be a face. Is Carmella going to be feuding with Naomi now? I mean, I really don't know, and I'm rapidly losing interest. I don't know about you guys, but I have no interest in this match whatsoever. I'm going to say the heels win just to set up Naomi's next challenger. Maybe Charlotte will turn heel again. I don't know, but I'll just say that the heels win. Mr. Payne, we'll start with you. Your thoughts?
I'll agree. I'll say the heels too, but I will say this. When they first did the brand split, the whatever you want to call it, when they shuffled some people, I actually thought that SmackDown now got the better end of the deal with that. And maybe just in their mindset, they figured, well, let's play this out. Let's have everybody work, and then we'll maybe work some good matches and some good rivalries down the road. We got a whole year. Maybe that's their mindset. But to start it off, kind of. It's very underwhelming. I don't like it. I think they can do better. Who knows? I'll pick the heels. What do you think, Kyle?
I'm going with you guys. I think the heels are going to win. Although I do not think that Charlotte is going to be the one to turn heel. If anybody does turn heel, I think it's going to be Becky. I'm just going to throw that prediction out there. I'm just going to say Becky might turn heel because I think she's been wanting to turn heel, hasn't she?
Yes, she has.
I could see that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Becky turning heel or James Ellsworth interfering or something just to give the heels the victory. So what do you think, Virtue?
I think Ellsworth will get involved, and I think that will cost the heels. So I'm going with Charlotte, Naomi, and Becky. But like on SmackDown, that was the contract signing, and you have Owens versus AJ for the U.S. title, and you have Orton and Jinder Mahal, and they did a contract. I'm done. I'm moving on to the next match.
Well, okay. You know what I really dislike about WWE TV right now, and it was very noticeable on SmackDown? It seems like they love doing these segments where guys come out and talk and rip into each other, and then it leads to a match. They did it not once, not twice, but 3 times on this show. Kevin Owens did the highlight reel. AJ and Jinder Mahal came out. That led to AJ versus Mahal. Then you had the Usos coming out. Oh, actually... Okay, now I'm getting confused here. I know there were 3 segments, so one of you might have to correct me here. The women's match, you had the contract signing followed by the match, and I know there was a 3rd one. I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Anybody here can?
Well, Mahal came out 3 times. Once in the beginning, obviously, that led to the opening match, and then once at the end. I don't know if you're counting that either. But no, it's overkill, dude. And actually, WWE could take a page out of Ring of Honor's book right now. I don't know if anybody in their market gets Ring of Honor. I've been watching it. Sometimes less is more.
No, I agree. I just think that the segments are really, they're very repetitive. What do you think, Virtue?
You know why it seems like that? Because they're probably writing these shows at 5 and 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, they're not preparing at all, and that's how they're just the dry erase board in the back. They write out the matches, and then how do we kill time? Oh, interview segment. That has to be what they're doing.
Yeah, it was Breezango because they did the Fashion Files, so that was a talking segment, and then they had a match immediately after. Yeah. At least separate it, like do the Fashion Files at like one early part of the show, and then later at the show have them come out instead of just doing, you know, guys in back-to-back segments. It makes the show drag more, in my opinion. Just my opinion, though.
You're right.
And when they do it 3 times in one night, I think it's very lazy writing. And I don't think it's good for ratings. I think the guys get overexposed when they're in one segment, and then after the commercial, they're in another segment. You know, I think your casual viewers want to see different people. I think it's bad for
now's
viewership.
their time for WWE to capitalize on it, because as soon as football season starts in September, you know, that's cutting down right there, your casual fan viewers. Yeah. So now's the time they should be pulling the trigger and build up for SummerSlam. But you're right, they're just not doing the right things right now.
That whole SmackDown was just to get Jinder over in a match and Orton over in a match so they could have their WWE title match at Backlash. That's what it was.
Yeah, pretty much.
It just seems perfect sabotaging SmackDown to make Raw seem so much better. I don't know.
It happens every year.
Vince McMahon, absolutely.
I mean, that's what people thought in 2004 when they did the draft lottery, whatever it's called. You know, people thought like it was specifically done to sabotage SmackDown because fans were always raving about SmackDown being the better show, and Raw's Vince's baby. That's the A show. It's been what is it now? 25 years since Raw started?
Well, too bad. I mean, you pulled this deal with USA Network to get it live on Tuesdays. Why not put more emphasis on that? You know what I mean? I don't get it, really. But, yeah, Vince McMahon.
In the end, Raw's always going to be the A show. But enough of that. We're getting a little bit off track here. Let's move on. Yeah, next match, the Usos versus Breezango. Virtue, I want to ask you because I think you were disagreeing with me. I thought the Usos promos the last few weeks have been really strong. I think that they're finally starting to show some character. And this is like one of the only matches I'm remotely interested in. Not so much for Breezango, just because I'm liking the Usos right now. I think Usos are definitely going to retain. If Breezango win the tag team titles, I'm done. I'm totally done.
So that's 2 times you'll be done.
Yeah, 2 times I'll be done. What do you think, Virtue? We'll start with you.
Usos are retaining the titles. I hate listening to them talk, though, because it's the 2 thugs, and they remind me of gangs and standing on the street corner as the nerd goes by, and then they both pipe off each other like, "Oh, what are you going to do? Ooh, so." I just don't like it. I don't like it. I think they could deliver better promos. That's just my opinion. Now, it's not the worst in the world. You know, but I think Roman Reigns gives better promos than the Usos.
Oh, come on now. I would not go that far. Yeah, the thing I like about them, they sound like they're from the 80s. You know, I like the old school 80s wrestling promos that are just, you know, guys yelling and just talking and, you know, very animated. And
They're not Axe and Smash. They're not Axe and Smash. Come on. Next.
Okay.
Predictions. My prediction was the Usos.
Okay. David?
Yeah. I'll go with Usos, too. I think, you know, that they've been getting somewhat – I like them better as a heel, but I hear what Virtue's saying, man. I mean, there must be – I don't know. The genes must have gotten watered down after The Rock, because where's the promo skills? You got one of the best guys in the history of the business with promos, and then you got Roman Reigns and the Usos, who are mediocre at best, you know. But, yeah, Usos win, heel champions, whatever. It is what it is. Kyle?
You know what? I'm going to be the odd man out here and pick the Breezango just because, you know, it seems as though every pay-per-view WWE seems to pull a swerve or something. Like they did it with Payback. They had Chris Jericho win when nobody expected him to win. So, and you know what? It seems to be a pattern with recent pay-per-views. And they did it on Fastlane, too, with Bayley beating Charlotte's pay-per-view streak. And they did it at WrestleMania, too.
That's true.
So, You know, they seem to pull a swerve every pay-per-view, so I'm going with Breezango, baby, all day.
And you know what? I like those guys, though. I like their characters. They're playing it. So, you know, even though I pick Usos, but like Kyle, that would be great. I'd love that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's my prediction.
I think that I do not think we've been unanimous on any of these. Well, I'm going with Usos, obviously. I'm not picking Breezango, and I don't think they'll win, but you know, stranger things have happened, and yes, I prefer the name Febreze, but that's just me. All right. So next up we have the United States title match, which I guess I'm looking forward to this match. You know, I think it's going to be a really good match. I'm really confused about how this is going to end because AJ got beat on SmackDown, and usually that means AJ's going to get his win back on the pay-per-view. But Owens just won the title back, and I think it would be a mistake for Owens to lose the title right now. And I'm not really sure who to go with on this one. I could see this one being one of the matches that has a DQ or a count-out or something like that. So, Kyle, let's start with you. We'll put you in the hot seat. What are your predictions for this match?
Let's see. If I had to take a guess, if Chris Jericho is going to be coming back towards SummerSlam, which I heard he might be actually, when his Fozzy tour is done, I could see him continuing his feud with Kevin Owens. So it would make sense for Kevin Owens to retain and him keep ripping off of Chris Jericho because you can tell they're still trying to drag out the feud because he just did the highlight reel for Chris Jericho's tonight.
Exactly.
So I could definitely even see him winning. Like, I don't know, with the Walls of Jericho or a code breaker or something. I don't even know, you know, just to get even more heel heat. So I'm going to go with Kevin Owens retaining the United States Championship.
Do you think he's going to win, or do you think he's going to get DQ'd?
My official prediction is he's going to use one of Chris Jericho's moves to beat AJ Styles, or he's going to either do that or he's going to get a DQ win. I could see either of those happening. So, yeah. Okay. What about you, David?
Well, I'll even go one different slightly and say that he wins by shenanigans behind the referee's back and he uses a weapon of some kind or something like that. See, this is a smart stream, this match. My only issue with it is I wish it would have been built for a major pay-per-view. Now, I hope maybe down the road after Jericho and Owens blow up, maybe they can revisit this for a more significant meaning. But for the time being, I see Kevin Owens retaining, and maybe there's a rematch, you know. But to me, I still see AJ Styles in the WWE title picture. So I think this is almost just a kind of a quickie for him. And then he'll go off and maybe it'll be against Orton or Mahal. You know, we'll be talking about that obviously coming up here in a second. But I see AJ actually, this will be really short. He'll go on again to the WWE title picture. But that's just my thought. I say Kevin Owens wins by some shenanigans. What about you, Rift?
You're going to me, and we're going to do Virtue last. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No. I'll go. We'll change it up a little bit. You know, unlike WWE, we got to change the format around a little bit and shake things up.
There you go.
So I'm going with AJ Styles to win, but not win the title. I think he'll win by a DQ or something. Owens will get disqualified, and AJ will pick up the victory, and then the two of them will probably be in the Money in the Bank ladder match at the next pay-per-view, and you know, they'll go their separate ways at that point. You know, I think this is going to be a short feud. This isn't going to be a long-term feud between these two. I sense AJ will be back in the WWE title picture for SummerSlam. I hope so, at least. He should be. So, Virtue, you're last.
Pushing all the New Japan guys aside, AJ Styles by far is the best professional wrestler in the world. And he is going to put Kevin Owens over clean with the best pop-up powerbomb that you'll ever see. Because it doesn't matter if AJ Styles loses clean to Kevin Owens. He's still the best wrestler in the world, and he can still be in the WWE title picture. So we're going to see a clean finish here. Okay, and let me backtrack a little bit to SmackDown. Why is Kevin Owens doing, I understand keeping the Jericho seat alive, but shouldn't he have some like forum of like a political show where he's got a podium and he's the face of America, and it should be like a Trump giving a speech? Shouldn't they do something like that for a talk show segment for Owens? But AJ is going to put him over clean. Pop-up powerbomb 1, 2, 3.
Why couldn't it be Obama giving a speech? Anyway, that aside, no, I'm just kidding. That aside.
Oh, here we go.
But do you think they would save the really good 5-star match for a better pay-per-view?
Well, they need something.
Yeah, I know they need something, but for Backlash? I mean, really?
Well, at least nobody's getting bumped from Backlash.
Yeah, nobody's getting bumped from Backlash.
This will be a 4 out of 5 or higher for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card really needs this match because without this match...
I think this should main event. In all honesty, I know it probably won't. I think this match should go on last.
Well, I'm really curious to see how the fans react to the main event. You know, Chicago is known for hijacking shows, and I would be amazed beyond belief if we do not get a CM Punk chant. What do you want to say, Kyle?
Who do you think is going to be more over in Chicago, Kevin Owens or AJ Styles?
I think it's going to be very much a 50-50 reaction. I think the fans will cheer Owens, and it's going to be one of those matches where they do the dual chants, and it's going to be a fun match, you know? I think the fans will be into it. That match and Nakamura and Ziggler will steal the show.
Yeah, you said Nakamura-Ziggler Virtue could open it. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this AJ Owens could open it too. So, I mean, they've done it before with...
the hot opener, baby.
Yeah, it would be a hot opener. And a Dolph finish.
Yeah, so basically those other matches are going to be like the blocker matches where people can go to the restroom and get their concessions and spend their $10 on a hot dog and then their $8 on a large soda. And I'm not even kidding either.
It was $6 for a slice of pizza at No Mercy.
Dude, it's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
And you know what's funny about these SmackDown pay-per-views? Guess they were selling all SmackDown Superstar merchandise except for one guy. Guess who that one guy is from the Raw side?
Oh, from the Raw side?
From the Raw side that they sold merchandise for.
Roman Reigns.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, duh.
The only Raw superstar to get merchandise on SmackDown.
Hey, just wait down the road when he goes to SmackDown and shake up, and he gets to say that all over again. This is my yard now.
Yep. All right, so we got the main event. Randy Orton defending after defeating Baron Corbin in a hard-fought match on SmackDown Live. Now, the question is, since Randy Orton defeated Baron Corbin, can he possibly take on this monster of a man, this up-and-coming legend, Jinder Mahal?
The second coming of the original Sheik.
Yes, the modern-day JBL. I guess this is JBL 2.0, the guy who was... Although, at least in JBL's case, him and Ron Simmons were a fairly successful tag team, and they had some credibility as tough guys. Jinder Mahal's just been a job guy for the past 7-8 months, and now all of a sudden he's in the main event. I don't buy it.
He's got his back knee from all the roids, too. Is nasty.
Careful what you say, David. Don't accuse people of stuff. You know?
I mean, Scott Steiner said it, not me.
Okay, according to what you say is according to Ryback, according to Scott Steiner or whoever.
Okay.
Don't flat out accuse somebody because
we have to assume Jinder is clean because of the WWE wellness policy.
Well, who was the guy? Virtue. Somebody in the chat said it might have been you. Somebody said it would be funny if right after Backlash, Mahal was suspended for 30 days.
Yeah, it was me. I'm trying to get attention. I'm trying to get attention there, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was.
But that's what we got to go by. We can't make speculation. We have to go by if he was suspended, then we will know.
I just know I'm busting my ass in the gym. I'm on a low-carb diet right now, and I do not look like Jinder Mahal. So whatever he's doing, I need to start doing.
Prediction.
I don't know. My prediction. Okay. So
yeah, what's yours?
Anything other than Randy Orton beating Jinder Mahal clean and taking out all three guys and just ending this charade. Anything other than that, I'm done. For the third time, I'm done. If Randy Orton does not win this match clean. He needs to just win clean with an RKO and move on to the next guy, which I'm assuming will be Rusev. And speaking of Rusev, he was supposed to be on SmackDown tonight. No Rusev. After all that hype, he wasn't on the show, which I guess makes sense because you would do one thing at a time and not put the cart before the horse or whatever. So I get it, but why even tease something? They should have just waited until after Backlash to have Rusev come back and set up a match, because basically it gives away that Orton's going to win anyways because Rusev's the next in line for a title match, and I would assume we're not going to see Jinder Mahal versus Rusev. I suppose we could see a triple threat at Money in the Bank, but enough. I think the Mahal push, the experiment, they gave it a shot. I'm not buying it. I think Orton needs to win. So, Virtue, we'll start with you. Your thoughts.
This is going to be a very tough one to call, but after an RKO out of nowhere, after some distraction from the Singh Bollywood boys, Orton wins clean and retains. Now, I wouldn't be surprised maybe that WWE swerve for this pay-per-view. After Orton wins the match and retains, Rusev runs out and beats him up. Probably more likely for the SmackDown episode, but that's what I'm going with. What about you, David?
Oh, man. Rusev, to me, lost his spot to Braun Strowman as that dominating big man. And I just don't find him credible as much anymore. I really don't want to see him. He's already been in high-profile matches with John Cena at WrestleMania. I don't want to see that. I sure hope that it's AJ Styles that moves on to Randy Orton, even though you got two baby faces there. So what? You know, in the very beginning when I read that Vince McMahon selling to Indy, I thought to myself, would surprise me if Jinder Mahal wins and then Orton wins his 14th, and then he's right up there with Triple H and John Cena. I mean, they just love to do this, stockpile these umpteen team champions, but like Aaron said, that would be completely ridiculous. I wouldn't want to do these videos anymore either. I'm going with Randy Orton. I just think him hot potatoing the title, and that's the thing, we don't ever talk about this anymore. The formula for WWE back in the day was never like this. They were a lot more patient. Now it's just hot potato, and man, I don't know, it doesn't do anything for anybody really. So, but yeah, we'll go with Orton to win this one. Probably 15-minute match, I'd say. I don't think it'll be anything great except for the RKO out of nowhere. What do you think, Interstate Kyle?
I think Orton's winning. I mean, I do not want to see Jinder Mahal as the WWE champion. I mean, I'm not racist or anything, but it's just ridiculous. I just want to see Randy Orton versus AJ Styles already. I mean, I think they need to get that going around SummerSlam, and obviously he's probably going to face Rusev before he faces AJ Styles or something like that. Whatever, but I just want to see Randy Orton versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam, and unfortunately we got to get through this first. So it's just, I'm picking Orton to win. If honestly, I'm just going to go and say this right now. If Jinder Mahal wins, I'm going to get a buzz cut. I'm putting a stipulation.
Oh, all right. Here we go. Buzz cut.
Yeah.
What about you, Virtue? You going to get rid of that?
Are you going to wear one of those head units that he wears too?
Virtue, you going to make a bet? You're going to get rid of that Lloyd Christmas haircut?
No, it's my gimmick.
Let's all do it, Ben.
I got to
put something online.
You say Lloyd Christmas, but he looks more like Judd Apatow, the director of all those, 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up. Yeah, that's who he looks like to me.
Well, I've gotten the Brooklyn Brawler too, because I'm always tired of the bags under the eyes.
Yeah, I know Brooklyn Brawler personally, so yeah, I could see that a little bit. Could you talk like this though? Is the question.
I could
do a New York accent, Brooklyn accent, but I did want to say maybe we'll see. Uh-oh, Kyle just went flying.
I got it.
I was trying to say maybe we'll see Jinder Mahal hit Orton in the head with a steel chair, and Orton will be bleeding buckets, and then Orton will snap and get himself disqualified. Maybe that'll happen. Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure there's no way they could do something as entertaining as that. But yeah, Orton's got to win. I think we're all pretty safe with our predictions for Orton to win. So that's it. That's it for the Backlash pay-per-view. David, since we did not have you on for NXT, and Kyle, you were not on either. Real quick, you guys want to throw out your predictions? Kyle, we'll start with you. Or David, you want to go first?
Let's see. If I had to pick a championship that's going to change hands, I'm probably just going to pick the women's championship to change hands. Because I don't know. I see Bobby Roode retaining. I don't see Hideo Itami winning. I just don't see that happening right now. I don't see DIY winning the tag team titles either. I think the Authors of Pain are just going to retain. So, yeah, if I had to pick a title that's going to change hands.
What about Fate versus Dunn for the UK title?
Ooh, I forgot about that match. Oh.
Yeah, that one.
I've been catching up on that tournament, by the way, the UK tournament.
That was actually a great tournament,
Yeah.
And again, with WWE, I don't understand why, like the Cruiserweight tournament, the Cruiserweights are getting a lot of heat in WWE. Nobody likes to watch them, but yet the tournament was badass. So, I hope we still see that in NXT where they don't lay off any bit. But, I mean, that's going to be a good match.
Yeah, and, we were having trouble. For NXT, for an NXT show, I thought that this one was a little bit more unpredictable than most of them, and I think it's more unpredictable than Backlash at this point. I'm more definitely looking forward to the NXT show more. So, Kyle, your thoughts on Dunn and Fate?
Actually, you know what? I'll change my prediction. I think the United Kingdom Championship will change hands. I think Pete Dunne will probably win because I see him having a little bit of a feud with William Regal right now. So I could definitely see William Regal
coming out of retirement, maybe.
I'm not sure. I mean, they've been hinting at it. They've been doing it. They've been kind of teasing that a little bit. So I can see Pete Dunne winning the UK.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah, and Pete Dunne trained Tyler Bate, if I'm not mistaken. He trained him. So
I think so.
Well, remember Regal wrestled Ambrose a couple times back in NXT or whenever. Was it still FCW back then?
Didn't he wrestle Cesaro too, or was that? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Can't remember.
Yeah. David, your thoughts real quick on the paper.
I think the title to change hands is going to be an upset. I think because Itami's injury, I think people wanted to see him and that he was going to be the first Nakamura, but because of his injury, it slowed him up. I see that title actually changing hands, believe it or not. And then there'll be another match and the rubber match, and and then I think Bobby Roode will probably be called up eventually. So yeah, I see that one changing hands. I see Asuka retaining.
I don't think they should hop the NXT title, though. They've been doing that a little bit too much recently.
Maybe, but
the NXT title.
Maybe, but again, I was going with the age. Bobby Roode's 40-something. I don't see him being in NXT too long,
Yeah.
And then finally, I'll say DIY loses because I think they're going to get bumped up really soon too. So I think Authors of Pain win. So yeah, that's my predictions. I think there'll be one title change. Well, two if you count the UK one too. I think I think Pete Dunne wins that one.
All right,
and we still don't have a fifth match yet, Aaron.
Oh, we
for
still
that
don't.
Show, right? Officially. If they do book Sanity in any match, any members of them, that's who I'm going with right now for the record.
Sanity against
anybody.
Cassius.
Sanity
Is it Cassius? Oh no, is that how you pronounce his name?
Cassius Clay.
Cassius. Something.
Let's call him Hero.
Well, no, people got mad at me when I called him Chris Hero. Said I was being a smark by calling him Chris Hero. I just don't like the new name. But him and Roderick Strong, they'll probably be against Sanity, something like that. But yeah, so that'll wrap it up for our thoughts on Backlash and the Backlash weekend in Chicago. That'll do it. So let's get the plugs out. Virtue, we'll start with you, and then Kyle, and then David.
Follow me on Twitter at @NoDQ_Virtue. And I'm catching up to David Payne. I'm only like 15 behind him. So come and follow me.
No.
Dave?
No, go to Kyle first, right? Wasn't that the order?
That's what I said.
You guys can subscribe to me on YouTube at Interstate Kyle. You guys can also follow me on Twitter. You guys have been showing me a little bit of love on Twitter lately. So, and I'd love to have conversations with you guys about wrestling. So you guys can follow me on Twitter at Interstate Kyle as well. You, Dave?
All right, follow me on Twitter at SmartMark420. We will be doing another episode of Pop hopefully soon. I had some mishaps with my recording equipment, but hopefully we'll get that straightened out. I'm shooting with an iPhone 6 today. Also, I'll have some videos soon of the event that I worked, UCW. It was in Vassar, Michigan. I was in my very first match, a Royal Rumble. Posted some pictures of my chest getting chopped up. So hopefully I'll have video of that soon, and we'll post it here on No DQ of my match. So look forward to that. And, I'm working with this company. So visit them at UCW Slammer. And that's my plugs. Aaron, off to you, buddy.
All right, well, get the NoDQ.com t-shirt. Everyone in this video has one. You can get one, too. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com. Search NoDQ. And you can also click on the link that I have provided for you guys on the video. Check it out. Get a t-shirt. People seem to like the shirt. I've gotten a lot of compliments from various people, so I'm happy about that. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com. I will be doing coverage. I may be taking a break from Raw and SmackDown, but we'll see how Sunday goes. If Sunday's a kick-ass show and CM Punk returns and somebody drops a pipe bomb and all hell breaks loose and there's a major heel turn, maybe I'll keep doing them. But something needs to happen. I feel like right now WWE as a product is very flat. It feels like they have no momentum. The ratings continue to get down to record lows, and there just wasn't any buzz for SmackDown this week. And I feel like WWE's cold right now. I think they need to do something significant on Sunday to really generate buzz and not have Jinder Mahal win the title. That's not what I'm talking about. But they need to do something like a major heel turn or some sort of surprise return or something noteworthy that can really get people excited about tuning in again. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they do something, and we'll see you guys next time for our review video. Actually, first we'll have the NXT review video, and then on Sunday night we'll have the Backlash review video. So we'll see you guys then.